Unpopular opinions about sexuality and gender roles. Circumcision is child abuse, and should land you in prison. Outside of the obviously incredibly rare life-threatening scenarios, performing surgery on a literal newborn baby for anything that's not medically necessary should land you in prison, circumcision being the biggest one. It's such a widespread norm that literal mutilation of a newborn isn't even a shocker. Imagine just taking out an eye, or half his tongue. Baby crying because he just entered the world and already being torn apart, but it's religious views. I have nothing against people who are adults and became circumcised as an adult. Go for it, but do whatever the hell you want to your body. You are pushing mutilation and projecting these views into a newborn infant's body. F anyone who does this and f doctors who do it too. Every single one of you should be dead or rotting in a cell. Not every gay person is born gay. Some people become gay because of the environment they were raised in, and the people around them. Environment and genetics affect your sexuality. People who insist it is an entirely genetic phenomenon, and we are just born this way, are often talking from their own personal experiences. I'm sure some people are gay from birth, but for others, sexuality is more fluid and this is often ignored. I think gender identity is the ultimate first world problem. If you're really concerned about your gender identity, then you must not have a lot else to worry about. I mean, I understand mental illness and stuff, but I don't see much of an excuse for a functioning adult to be confused about their gender, unless they literally have nothing better to think about. OnlyFans allows underage girls to make more money than minimum wage workers do, and I think that's terrible. Yes, I am jealous. I wish I had the ability to let perverts allow me to profit on what should legally not be possible. Appalled by the lack of action OnlyFans has taken too. If your girlfriend refuses to do something sexually with you that she has willingly done for her previous boyfriend/s, you should break up with her. For the record, I'm not talking about things she tried once with an ex, but never did again because she genuinely didn't like it. Although, an argument could be made for her letting you try at least once, too. What I am talking about is any act she willingly performed for an ex that she either enjoyed or was at least indifferent to, i.e. she had no negative feelings about it. There are two main reasons for this behavior and neither of them are good. The first reason could be that her ex is more important to her than you. He is so important that even though the relationship is over, there are still things that she wants to reserve as only being for him and, in her mind, giving those things to you would feel like cheating. I know, crazy right? The second reason could be that she is less attracted to you than she was to her ex. You are second best in her estimation, good enough to date, but not good enough to give all that she has to offer. Does that sound like a desirable relationship to be in? Now, Reddit is filled with easily triggered women and the widest of nights who have this magical ability to read things that were never typed. So let's make some things clear. No guy is entitled to sex from a girl just because she is his girlfriend, but no girl is entitled to a relationship with a guy she won't fuck. I'm not saying that a guy should say do this for me, or I'm leaving. I'm saying that, once he finds out that she's holding out on him sexually, he should move on. That relationship is toxic, and you can be sure that sex isn't the only thing she's keeping from him. This obviously goes both ways and pertains to more things than just sex. I only picked men and sex because I tend to hear about that situation more often. Obviously not suggesting that the girl should be forced to do anything she doesn't want to do. If both the guy and the girl are refusing to give each other things that they willingly gave their exes, then I guess it's a match made in heaven. Edit, holy shit. Gold. OMFG. Edit 2, I would like to thank the Academy. Edit 3, I'm gonna f*** off for a long while, but I keep getting the same question so I'll answer it here. This post was inspired by myself and a group of guys talking about our past relationships and the commonalities we noticed with each other. For me, it was a girl in high school who refused to kiss me. We did everything else but no kissing, but admitted to me that she'd kissed her ex a lot. I dumped her. Girls I've been with since haven't held back like that, at least not that I was aware of. Another guy had an ex that wouldn't do anal, but she talked about doing it with an ex and how much she liked it. Another guy wasn't getting blowjobs, but found out from a mutual friend that his girlfriend loved giving them to an ex. There are more, but they're all pretty much the same story. Porn addiction is a massive epidemic in men that society is choosing to ignore. Porn is being promoted as positive and a sort of ritual for men these days. It's deemed by most as a positive pastime, and to critique it will be met with scorn, and many will see you as against sex positivity for doing so. It is seen by many as a private hobby with no harm to most, except some complaining about misogyny towards women in porn. However, as growing amounts of evidence show porn is having immensely negative effects on men. Many are becoming addicted to something encouraged and is safe by society. Men are having problems performing in bed with their partner, reduced libidos, fetishes they did not previously have which cause shame, seeing women as sex objects solely, having to watch more intense and degrading and even violent porn to get the same dopamine hit. Many men are also attaining erectile dysfunction where they cannot attain an erection without porn or even with porn. Studies into when people first locate porn shows most boys begin watching at around the age of 9 to 10. The beginning of their sexuality is being distorted and twisted in their formative years when they are vulnerable to an addiction they have no idea about. There are also studies showing that porn consumption causes anxiety and depression in its users. There are literally hundreds of thousands of men now coming forward, largely on the internet due to the stigmas of this addiction with their stories. How has this been received? Well, as a joke. An ex-porn addict went on TV and told a presenter telling him his addiction did not exist that his penis could no longer get hard. Academics researching this area have been mocked and ridiculed for their research. This problem is only getting worse and if not addressed very soon will probably become one of the greatest concerns for our society on a social level. It will possibly reach an epidemic proportion as men and possibly their millions will be addicted to something very, very hard to quit and the assistance in fixing this issue will be very difficult and very expensive. If you are a man who has a positive relationship with porn then that's fine, but this post is to show the unpopular opinion being ignored by society. Check out NoFap and Porn Free if you want to see what men are having to silently endure at the moment. Edit, realized I fucked up the title. My point was that if porn addiction is not addressed and started to be dealt with now I believe in mere decades we could have an epidemic on our hands. Also I swear to God I put this in the post but if you watch porn and are not an addict I am truly happy for you. I am also pro-masturbation and sex positive. My point is for a sizable number of people porn is addictive and this reality needs to be known and we need to help porn addicts. I hope this clarifies everything. Also thanks so much to the people who commented talking about their struggles with addiction or their struggles. Also thanks to those who gave me awards. This post hit the trending page so it shows just how many people are impacted by this. I really hope we get the help and support we need. True gender equality will be marked by nonchalance towards, not celebration of gender. If true gender equality comes to fruition, then what it will mean is that people will stop giving a fuck about one another's gender. Everyone would have equal opportunity, treatment, respect and appreciation, while being judged based on character, ability, personality and other proper grounds based on the situation. There would be no need for gender-based celebrations, since all related hurdles would have already been crossed. What will be celebrated though, is mankind coming one step closer to overall human equality. In a lot of children's shows, like Peppa Pig, the fathers are consistently portrayed as bumbling idiots, and the mothers as awesome heroines saving the day, and it sends a very wrong message to little kids. Like in virtually every show aimed towards little kids, the girls are heroic, the boys foolish. The girls save the day. I don't mind that the girls save the day, every once in a while, but for them to always do it and the male characters to always lag behind is a pity. Like there's Barbie movies too in which Barbie saves the day and is portrayed as competent and heroic, whereas Ken is a borderline idiot who kisses the ground she walks on and always gets in trouble. A lot of kids shows are like this. The father figures are weak, the mother figures all-knowing. In Peppa Pig, specifically, the father of Peppa is an engineer. He has blueprints lying around the house and everything, has an office, works hard, is a pillar of the community, and yet he's constantly made fun of and used as the butt of jokes because he's a bit fat. It's kinda lame and gives a terrible example. Meanwhile Mommy Pig is awesome and pretty much flawless. The whole thing is pretty insidious. From an early age it sends a message of girls being empowered, but how about the little boys? Like sure there's still superhero movies but those are aimed at a little older audience, plus all those superheroes are usually genetically mutated in some way and unrealistically handsome, so few kids would identify with them. I'm a guy and I wish I could be pregnant. I think pregnancy is wonderful. I know it's not all lollipops and rainbows. I supported my wife every single day through her pregnancy and I helped her through the nausea, the body aches, and the terrible pain of giving birth. I know there are risks and complications and it's not something everyone wants to do. I wish I could do it, though. My wife and I agreed we wanted a baby as soon as we had a house. Thankfully, she was able to become pregnant. I really feel for the women who can't have babies and wish they could, and we now have a toddler who is an absolute joy. She loved being pregnant. Every day we talked about the baby growing in her womb that we couldn't wait to meet. I kissed her belly hundreds of times. And I fell in love with her all over again every time I looked at her. Her hand was pretty much glued to her belly, always rubbing it and humming a song. The bond that is formed between the mother and child is simply beautiful. The hardest part about it is that I'll never be able to realize this wish, and I never had a choice in the matter. Women can choose, in most cases, whether or not they want to become pregnant. And I don't know how the logistics of it all would work, anyway. Maybe if we lived in a world where both men and women were built with the capability to have babies, kind of like seahorses. I know it's not realistic, but if it were possible to give me a uterus transplant, I'd consider it. I would go through considerable pain and effort if it meant I could get pregnant. Every guy I've ever told has either looked at me like I'm insane or just straight up laughed at me. Women I've told seem to understand, but nobody really takes it seriously except for my wife. She knows it's not a joke and that it's an actual dream of mine. Any guys out there agree with me? Edit. Some people are rightfully pointing out that my wife's pregnancy went smoothly and that we are very fortunate. I do not disagree. However, I disagree that I have an idealized view of pregnancy. Just because things went well for her does not mean they would for me, and does not mean they go well for others, but it also does not invalidate my feelings. As I stated above, I am well informed of the risks that come with pregnancy. Edit 2. No, it's not a sexual thing. Also, to clarify, I am happy as a straight male and I do not want to transition to become a woman. Women sexualize themselves then blame men for sexualizing women. One trip to Instagram and you'll see women flaunting their bodies everywhere, embracing it. A numerous amount of music artists intentionally show off their body, from rappers like Doja Cat to pop singers like Ariana Grande. You girls sexualize yourselves when you make everything about your tits and ass. Us guys like them obviously, and we're gonna keep liking them if you keep flaunting it. They don't have to be popping out your turtleneck for us to appreciate them. Now, I'm not saying that you deserve to be sexually harassed on the street, or catcalled. That's not my intentions with this post. What I'm saying is that there are plenty of women who enjoy sexualizing themselves and embracing their bodies, so when a guy comments like "damn you're so thick," with 3 fire emojis, you can't just call him a misogynist pig who should stop objectifying women. A lot of them do it to themselves because they like doing it. And if that's what they enjoy, then that's cool. Why would I have a problem with that? Some women need to stop acting like somehow it's forced upon them all the time.
This is Reddit Joe channel, and don't forget to hit subscribe down below for more upcoming videos.